Your attention, players. It is time for the second game. Will player 7 and player 15 please make their way to the game hall? Hey, everybody. Good evening. This is Moonblaze Wolf. I am here with Prof. Corey, and we are going to be calling all the action for you tonight. We have got game 2 between Soleras and Marten Broadcloak. Looks like they have a Kane start. They've got some extra bonus objectives here. Corey, what do you think of that Kane hero that we're going to be seeing our runners rocking tonight?
I'm sorry. I'm just distracted. I'm trying to do a conversion, 45 billion gold to dollars. I don't really know how much money that actually is. I'll look at that later. This is a fun hero for sure. Kane is I think of him as the most consistently scaling hero. Where he kind of gets strong early on, but he's also good late. But he never really breaks the game either. Just a nice, steady character to anchor you figuratively and literally.
Yeah, I am a big fan of Kane just in general. Like you said, kind of middling, but not too amazing. But will especially get you through a lot of the early part of the seed. The interesting thing I'm noticing here is both our 4th and 5th objective are Babel related. What do you think of that? Super Cannon and defeating the boss of Lower Babel.
I'm wondering if our players are having a little flashback to maybe their previous race for different reasons, but without saying too much, the tower was involved, let's say. So they'll be returning there for more objectives no matter what.
Wouldn't this be an interesting seed to see a vanilla tower key?
Ooh, that would be interesting, because that is an important decision both of these runners are going to have to make, is like knowing that you have to do, well, not have to, but that you likely will do both parts of the tower. Do you put it off until you can do it all in one go, or do you commit to getting one of the objectives done, knowing that the tower key might be hiding somewhere rude, and you may end up just completing the rest of the objectives before that?
Yeah, I will just say I'm personally hoping that tower key is buried on the moon somewhere, and it's got half of our forge behind it. That would be a pretty fun outcome. So we'll see what Bahamut rolled for us tonight. We got Bahamut X on the restream, and we have got Charlie doing the tracking for you as well. Looks like we are about ready to get underway here. So let's see what we got.
The old man, the blue robe, and a bonus character, or probably a bonus character. We'll see if it's a duplicate. But getting off to that 3 characters start is very interesting in these flags, where you, because of the T-Pro flag, looting is, it's a tricky balance. It's a tricky balance trying to decide how much to do early on. And with a 3rd character in tow, maybe the runners go for a little bit less looting. They feel a little bit more secure in the party.
Yep, and Tella also secures, as soon as we find that Darkness Crystal, a lot of interesting grind options as well for our runners. So we'll see how early or how late that Darkness Crystal presents itself. And yeah, we do have a free 3rd character already, who is a gated character. Could be Edge right out of the gate. Could be Edward. We'll see. Could be a duplicate.
Soleras is going maybe where I thought our runners would go, checking out this waterfall cave. Tella, with his exit spell, makes it a much more appealing looting option than it would be otherwise. Marten, though, is going through the town of Baron, which I think is a pretty uncommon play this tournament. I'm curious why he decided to come here instead of grabbing that free character or the loot in this higher value location where Soleras is at.
Well, I will say for Marten's situation, he did find a mute knife and an ice brand. I think I'm actually not opposed to the early Baron play. I think part of the reason why is you want to hit, the shops are usually have some good stuff in them, and you want to hit that first shop to get some information. Also gives you a boss peak, gives you a character peak. I think we saw a Porum. It was either a Palom or a Porum at the Baron Inn. as well. So I don't hate that play from Marten. He did find a nice Cane weapon. There's also a Silk Web, which I think both of our runners have now, which I think they'll put that in their back pocket for about the next 90 minutes or so.
Yeah, in the category of things that a Porum would like, Soleras grabbed a heroin robe from one of these chests. If Marten does the full waterfall loot, he'll pick it up as well. And yeah, it looks like the way he's walking back out, that's exactly what's going to happen. So both of our runners will have that powerful armor for one of the female characters when they join the party.
Such as that Porum at the Baron Inn that we have seen confirmed in chat now as well. So that makes that pretty enticing.
Yeah, the heroin robe, I think almost single-handedly motivates a lot of the early looting in these seeds. Light Sword on Soleras' side, another valuable item if we happen to find exactly Cecil. Although Edge might chuck it at somebody. But point is, heroin robe really makes one of your white mage characters, or Rydia, into a legit fighter, which is very valuable early on sometimes when resources are thin. And I think that's why you see people going to Evelyn Castle, for example, or doing that full waterfall cave looting. It's just a big game changer early on. And it's valuable all the way until the end of the game, too, if you're in just the right kind of situation.
Yeah, absolutely. But boy, that Watery Pass was pretty stocked. Lots of good stuff. We saw an Hourglass too. You mentioned the Light Sword. Interestingly enough, though, I don't think Soleras found anything for Cane to use, whereas Marten did find that that Ice Brand in Baron.
Baron's paying off. Ice Brand is not one of Kane's best weapons, but as far as like the quote-unquote average weapons, it's right there at the top of that tier, I would say. So he's probably feeling good for the early part of the seed.
Yeah, absolutely. Ice Brand will carry you for quite a while. And yeah, there's a Yang in the bed here. So another nice melee character. You don't hate to see a Yang early on if you don't necessarily need a ton of extra oomph, which I think our runners are pretty happy with Cane in that role right now. So we'll get some XP going on Yang. He'll be able to chip in here eventually, and does have some unique ways to contribute, like his power ability and the ability to use those elemental claws. So that's going to work out just fine, I think, for our runners.
Yeah, Yang's best friend in a party is going to be a Tella, or I guess a Fu. But in this case, we have the Tella, where as soon as that D Machine grind is available, you can turn Yang from like mediocre fighter to excellent top tier fighter, just in one big grind.
Chat pointing out something I missed as well, which is that Soleras bought a Blizzard Spear. That's hard to say at the end of a long week. So has kind of caught up a little bit in that Cane DPS department. I believe the Ice Brand is still a little bit stronger, but this early on, you probably won't notice too much of a difference.
And if I remember correctly, they have like one of them casts ice. They both cast ice too, but one of them is like multi-targetable. Are they like a little bit different in that respect? I'm trying to remember exactly.
I think it's just the fact that the Ice Brand has higher attack power.
Blizzard Spear goes on. Got Ice Claws, no Thunder Claws yet for the Yang. That's going to be the big ticket claw when our runners find it, or maybe even go out of their way to buy it. It really is useful in so many situations that it can flip Yang from being like dead weight to main contributor in the right fight.
And Scythe Marshall correcting me in chat, absolutely got the numbers right there, I think, because I think we saw Marten buy a Blizzard Spear as well. Runners really synced up here, and we got a Sparkle. And another good reason to have a spear as opposed to a sword. Does some extra damage to Plague here.
Yep. Soleras, ignoring that aspect of the weapon, though, goes straight for the Ice 2 cast. Might be more powerful than a base level Cane jumping or slashing.
Martin's did 800 damage, so
Well, yeah, spear's good. That's the moral of the story.
it's true. But it's interesting to watch the fight side by side, and you can see Martin did actually kind of pull ahead of Soleras here if we're looking at it like a horse race. So
Yeah,
and
that's a great little time gain for Martin. Last race, I think Soleras gained little advantages throughout the seed with just like a little bit better execution in certain key fights that were more of a grind for Martin. So Martin winning an advantage early on with some better execution, better decision making is nice for him.
And we're checking out Hobbs next here. We'll see who we've got up on the mountain today, looking to maybe join our party. Soleras finds the guards in the waterfall. I'm not sure we've seen that yet. There's another Porum and another Sparkle here.
Gotta check the Sparkle for sure. Ogo Pogo. Not a friendly boss, but could be in a much, much worse place. So I think Martin's okay with this. Now, it is interesting that he's choosing to take this fight knowing that Porum is available somewhere else that he's almost certainly going to check.
Yeah, I think you just grab the Porum here and start getting the XP on her, because the way the seed is playing out, you're going to get her either here or at the Baron Inn, so it's going to be hard to kind of control her XP. I think in a perfect world, you want to wait and maybe keep her as a slingshot target, but you've also already got that heroine robe. You know that you can put her to good use right away. I like this play by both of our runners.
I agree. Another, one of Porum's few upsides as a white mage compared to Rosa, her white mage counterpart, is that she picks up Berserk a little bit earlier, and that's going to be a great spell to have with the Kain and the Young in this party.
And the heroine robe, never count out the power of Porum berserking herself up first at the start of fights.
Yeah, she'll probably be a better fighter than Yang for the early part of the seed with that heroine robe.
Oh, absolutely.
Both runners through here, no problem. Martin taking advantage of Tella's ability to exit to loot the back half of Hobbs. Soleras just checking the one chest and deciding that's good enough for him.
Yeah, we're still waiting for that divergence here as well. I think it's going to be interesting if we maybe see Martin stay away from Baron Inn a little bit longer, just knowing that Porum's already there. It does give him a little bit of a knowledge advantage that Soleras doesn't have.
As expected, Soleras getting that heroine robe on Porum, throwing her in the middle slot for a little bit more accuracy too, since the bow users could really use it to keep their DPS up.
Yeah, you definitely want that little bit of extra accuracy with the bows. I think our runners are going to be on easy street for a little bit here, but let's see what we find. This Fabul defense fight can be a little bit nasty sometimes, and we've got a Mom Bomb here, so we're at least going to be here for a little while, if nothing else.
Yep, not too dangerous, but not trivial either. If I remember correctly, the explode damage here is not insane or anything, but you have to consider it. So we'll see post-explode where the party stands.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much trouble. It's just the main thing here is just going to be that you don't have an efficient way of taking it down, so you're going to have to kind of get through that explode and maybe figure out the best way of cleaning up afterwards. This might be a good spot for Kain to use that Blizzard Spear.
Yep, good call by you. Soleras cycled all the way to his party just to make sure Kain would be up first.
Let Yang kick. There we go.
Yep, good heads up play. Got just a little bit more damage on there. Kane, you know, would be nice if you hit, buddy. All right, and we're through, no problem.
That was unfortunate, yeah, with the miss there. Yeah, a little bit more of the horse race here. Marten actually took the time to buy an ogre axe, though, so that might end up being a little bit more of a long-term thing for Marten here. Very good investment, I would say, depending on what we maybe end up doing in this seed. We'll see if Soleras ends up buying the ogre axe here.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth picking up. Arguably the best weapon you could buy on the overworld for any of your characters.
And does make that purchase, just makes it on the back end of the fight here. So, oh, Tella with the recall.
The style points.
Very nicely done, and we get a package as the reward here. I don't know, Corey, who are you wanting to see at the package spot that is enticing to you?
Let's see. Cecil is an obvious pick because you got that light sword. Edge is an obvious pick just because he's all-around good character. Enables sirens if you want to do that instead of a D machine grind. Would I go through the cutscene for anyone else? Would I do it for Palom? I might do it for Palom. I think those three are enough to make me do it, but I don't know if I would go through it for anyone else.
I like the idea of peaking it, but I also like what Soleras is doing here, which is just heading up Ordeals, because I think your ideal character in this situation is Cecil, and maybe you just come back and get him later after you do Ordeals. I don't know.
Yep, no good to you beforehand.
And it was another Porum.
Porum, the official mascot of tonight's seed.
We also got a little bit of vanilla up here on Mount Ordeals. Soleras showing us Mylon and Friends in the Mylon and Friends spot.
Yeah, really, the key to this fight is just not doing wasteful action. You know, you could punch with everybody, but it takes extra long because you gotta wait for that lit counter. So just, you know, using your most powerful single attacks, you know, like that power punch instead of a regular punch. It's the key to speeding this up. That's the main test happening here. Certainly not dangerous.
Yep, I couldn't agree with you more. Very good observation there, and Chad is enjoying the many Porums the seed has had to offer so far. We're up to 3 now.
Listen, I will always be Team Porum. I won my first ever tournament race on the back of Porum, like doing ridiculous things, dodging mega nukes and surviving big bangs and stuff.
Yeah, Porum is great. Don't get me wrong. But in this case, we can't have more than one, so we're kind of just burning, which, you know, honestly, if the seed is going to give us the Sand Ruby in the package this early, I kind of like the fact that it's not giving anybody just a ridiculously powerful character right out of the gate. I'm good with this.
Yeah, same. And it opens up the chance, ironically, you know, all these extra characters coming up blank means that we might be stuck with the 4 for longer time than normal. And that's one of the things that can happen on these C maybe flags, is you end up in a situation with a not full party, and you have to adapt to that. Some of the implications are obviously you're weaker, you can't slingshot anybody because you have to have 5 people in your party to make it happen. It's one of the unique tests that this tournament flag set offers.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of that, but it is definitely wading into that territory here, depending on how this next little bit goes. We got a Calbrena in the back attack spot, and Dryzelizer in chat pointing out so many bosses for Yang to kick, and I agree. This has been a very kickable seed so far.
Right, and when you can do the kick around the world, you kind of have to do the kick around the world, right?
I mean, I believe that is written in the rules. I'll have to consult the book, but yeah, absolutely.
Notably, Soleras, to guarantee that the fight would be free, used an hourglass, which are hard to come by with J items not available in the shops this tournament. That's a big resource expended, but it also saved a little bit of time, just making sure that you don't run into the full Calbrena doll fight.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes into play here as the seed goes on. And there's the Magma Key for Soleras, so coming up here to Ordeals, definitely a good play. We got a Baigen, got some snake arms here in the crystal, in the Ordeals room. But let's see how Marten manages this Calbrena fight.
Looks like he's making the same choice. He's going to burn that hourglass now. It could be useful in a tough moon fight. Could be useful if you're fighting some King Ryus up on the moon, but it's also really useful right now. So I respect both of their decision to use it and make sure you get through this annoying back attack spot.
Yeah, definitely can't fault the decision by both runners. And you feel good about it when you get the Magma Key out of the room. So,
all right, so with that Magma Key, runners now have access to the underground. Wouldn't surprise me if they both choose to make the standard play, stop into Baron Inn, just get that knocked out. But after that, I'm curious. With another character spot available, do they try to go for Dwarf Castle? Do they get all the freebies done first? Those are the big decisions that we're looking at when we get underground, especially in this kind of situation.
Yeah, I think you want to maybe try to find that darkness crystal if it's in one of the free spots, but if we come up blank on that, I think you have to start looking at how you get through that tower boss, because that's going to be pretty important to this seed, I would say. Soleras, meanwhile, is actually headed on over to Baron Inn, which we've already kind of scouted through Marten, but he doesn't know that there's just another forum in there. I like this play from Soleras in his situation just because of the fact that if you are looking to maybe burn your Siren when you get underground, you want to pick up this character first. So I don't think it's going to work out that way, but I can understand the thought process of doing this before getting underground.
Agreed. Makes sense to me. It's also one of the best times in the seed for Tella to shine, to flex with all his shiny new spells, or old spells. I guess he remembered all the spells. So, he kind of gets outscaled later on, but right now he is the most powerful member of this party, and he will show it off. Well, all right, not the best enemy to show off his skills, but Virus is still pretty good.
It is, and this spot's going to hit pretty hard, but we've got a heroin robe going. We're going to be just fine. Another sparkle down. That's 3 already, and we haven't even gotten underground yet. But I do suspect we will see Marten just head underground here, because he is not... knowing that forum is already at the Baron Inn, I think we're going to see him just start exploring underground, knowing that he can't pick up a 5th party member from that inn fight.
Yeah, I think you really nailed it on the head when you said, yep, there he goes, to the underground. But you're right, when finding the Darkness Crystal with Tella in the party becomes an extremely high priority. Obviously, it's always important, but especially now where you can get a 5th character on the moon and then immediately jump right into D machines, get your full grind done. I think one of the things we learned early on in this flag set is that the sooner you get strong, the better. Pop that siren early, get your grind done early. So as soon as the darkness crystal is found, I expect both of our runners to jump on that opportunity right away.
Yeah, absolutely. And Soleras is netting himself another key item and a more efficient route through the underground as a result of that fight, picking up the pan. Guess he's keeping the skillet from his breakfast there at the Baron Inn. But yeah, I mean, it's just working out just fine for Soleras anyways. This is feeling like one of those situations where Marten has made some decisions and gotten some advantage from it, but Soleras's plays are also working out just as well, if not better, so far.
My understanding from watching both of these runners in their first race, and then also folks commenting on the first race, shoutouts to Asuka specifically, that Soleras tends to be a pretty straightforward conservative runner, just like knock out the checks in the order you'd expect, be very efficient, where Marten tends to be more aggressive. So this divergence we're seeing here makes perfect sense in that context. Soleras wraps up the overworld, Marten goes underground as soon as he has that magma key.
And we do see the karate fight at the Mist Cave, so no objectives hiding in those open boss spots early on. And I mean, I absolutely agree. The way Soleras plays is very, very efficient, and like it's efficiency begets efficiency in this case as well, picking up that pan. So it's going to work out just fine for him. And Marten is making the exact correct strategic plays based on what he knows as well. So it's just interesting the way decisions will cascade, and that is part of the fun of playing and watching randomizer races.
The Siren's going to do a ton of work. 32,000 experience is huge for this party. Porum is going to get all the way up to, let's see. Yep, there's Berserk, there's Exit. Not that we need Exit with Telling the party. Blink is also great, so having 2 Berserk casters and 2 Blink casters to go with those fighters that are now stronger. I think Kane, level like 19, 20 is a sweet spot for him in terms of hitting some multipliers. So clearing that hurdle is also very important. This party is well equipped to deal with underground obstacles.
And you do expect Marten will get some efficiency out of presumably doing this when he gets back to the Baron Inn. It should go a little bit faster with that punchier party. I do think the one Siren, in a way, it's a nice little boost. It doesn't really change things too. Oh, well, there's another Siren for Marten. Maybe that one will change things. But I was just thinking about what you're going to get out of this, and it's pretty minimal in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, maybe make some Dwarf Castle a little bit more reasonable. There's some fights there that would be pretty nasty at the levels he was at before, but now it's a little bit more HP on the key members of the party. So I think I like it specifically for that fight. I don't know if it gets us all the way to where we feel good about going up the tower yet.
I mean, a second Siren might get you there with the Heroine Robe, but it is going to also take a certain boss being there. I think the big question right now for both of our runners is just how long do you put that tower check off? Because you can't afford to wait that long, I have to think.
Well, we're probably going to wait a little bit.
The seed is just throwing more options at our runners right now. There's the Darkness Crystal for Marten, and you got to think Soleras is going to get there soon, although he is prioritizing this pan check. But I suspect he'll check all of his freebies here as well.
Yeah, he'll probably do the loop where you do the pan donk and then check the Fey March and then make your way back to Sheila. Yep, that's exactly the direction he's going. You are correct. Getting all the freebies done, he will also find his Darkness Crystal.
There's a D-Mist at the Asura spot.
Wow. All right. The summon boss monsters usually ignored on this flag set with summon key items turned off, but this is the one exception, barring a boss hunt. That D-Mist could hold the tower key.
Is it definitely possible that Demist could be required to finish this seed? Marten also picking up a large stack of samurai arrows, and I gotta think we're going to be seeing a warrior child with that heroine robe and some samurai arrows for quite a while now.
The true hero of the seed.
Absolutely. And if you're a Marten fan, this is what you didn't want to see, coming right here to check Sheila 1 when we know the Pan is waiting at the Baron Inn for him, and not necessarily going to end up being a particularly efficient way of going about things. But
the one way this pays off is if Sheila 1 is the tower key, in which case he's in go mode and never has to go to the Baron Inn. Unlikely, but yeah, that's what you're rooting for here in Marten's situation, or if you're hashtag Team Marten.
Yeah, we still need to stumble across that wyvern, but assuming we do that at some point, then yes, that would be all we would need.
Bad at counting. Yeah, never mind. Not in go mode.
I think Marten wants to check this character before anything else.
He could also do something cute, like get the whale, save on top of the whale or near it, go check Sheila, and then if it's a bust, you just reset all the way back to the whale.
That's a good thought. Yeah, I like that. We'll see if Marten does decide to do that. I also always, as a runner, I always like this cutscene as just a moment to kind of like gather yourself and just sort of think about where you're at and where you're going in the seed. So Marten giving himself a little bit of time to strategize here as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of decisions to be made right now. There's you can get the grind done right now to be ready to deal with everything, but risk losing time if your opponent gets to 10 key items, has a more efficient grind with that double experience. You could try to just tackle all the stuff that's on the earth. I think that's been a lot of runners' inclination, is to clear earth stuff even when the moon was available, just because it's faster and safer to do things like dwarf castle or a tower rather than chancing it on some possibly nasty moon bosses.
Yeah, you mentioned Marten's a gambler. I mean, you backs against the wall a little bit in this round. You're already down a game. Soleras is almost certainly the favorite if you kind of look objectively at the resumes of the two players. I could see Marten making some gambles tonight.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Especially considering the way the last race went.
Oh, wow. Soleras gets the hook and then the adamant from Sheila with that pan. That is about two of the best things that you could possibly hope for. Sheila with very much having the goods tonight.
So, if you're Soleras, do you go into Cave Eblin at all? Do you go check that character, check the shops, check the loot, or are you making your way to the moon?
I am not interested in Cave Eblin at all at this point. I like this play to go check the moon character, though. I do think the way the seed is lining up for Soleras, maybe a little bit more incentivized to stay on the Earth as well. You know that Demist is there. You know you want to do Keyless Tower. If you're going to do that, you might as well do Dwarf Castle. I could see Soleras sticking around on the Earth for a while, trying to get... He's already at 8 key items. You only need 2 more to get to 10.
Yeah, that pan pickup really created quite a bit of distance in terms of the number of key items for each player. So I think I agree. I think Soleras is going to try to get to 10 key items before he does a D machine grind. That said, it is pretty appealing right now. He's going to find the Cecil that Marten got on the Lunar Dais, and slingshotted Cecil with a light sword is a pretty good character.
Absolutely, and we got a pretty gross but also very doable fight with the CPU fight there at Cave Bahamut, so I don't think either of our runners is particularly excited about that, but at the same time, I think both of our runners are also happy it's not something ruder, let's say.
Yeah, I think that CPU is for sure going to be a post-grind obstacle. It is technically always doable, but would be extremely arduous right now. You know, get some levels, do some damage, and save yourself some trouble.
And for those advocating for an orb grind in the chat, I'm just going to point out that that spot does not have that much XP.
Marten is back on the blue planet, taking care of the Sheila 1 check. He, of course, can't get both key items because he has not picked up the pan from the Baron Inn. So it'll be interesting to see if that's his next play, or if he chooses to hit one of the underground spots instead.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that might draw Marten back to that Baron Inn is just the unknown second boss. Obviously, there's a key item check, but I mean, that you're not really, you know that you're already a little bit out of luck on that front. I do think Marten's decision here needs to be, do I grind now or do I keep going for the 10 key items? And that is going to be an interesting thing to see what he decides here. I think for Soleras, it's a lot easier just to keep going and get those 10 key items before committing to a grind. And that, yeah, we're going to see him do some checks here, it looks like.
Marten also sitting on that bonus Siren. I don't know if Soleras picked it up or not. I don't recall how much looting he did through the Fame Arch. So 1 Siren versus 2 could affect your decision making there. Looks like he's going for the 1 right now. Cecil's going to get a huge boost out of this, and then, yeah, I'm guessing he's going to keep clearing the underground.
And Marten is going to go check out this Cave Evelyn. Interesting decision here by Marten. Getting a little bit of loot, getting another peek, potentially at an edge or an upgrade on the character front. Also, if you do find another character down here that qualifies you for a slingshot, that is definitely an advantage for Marten as opposed to Soleras, if that is the grind route that they intend to go down.
We also get to experience one of the key tensions of this tournament and really the free enterprise randomizer in general, which is when do you stop looting? And I'm happy to see that Marten is not really checking any of the other chests. He picked up a couple easy ones right at the start, but he's focused on getting that character. I think both runners are in a place where they probably don't need to loot that much more. They've got a way to grind to whatever level they want. They've got some decent gear for their fighters. Yang doesn't really need any special gear. I think they're both good to go.
Marten sees another Tella and a Leviathan, and I could just kind of sense his heart sink through the feed. Hate to see that.
Yeah, it's a huge time sink. You know, trying to salvage it a little bit, but it looks like he is gonna go for some looting. Rune Ring is a great pickup. That'll be good for either Tella or Porum.
Yeah, we did see a Rune Axe earlier as well, so a couple good items down here, but yeah. Meanwhile, Soleras is back to doing checks, and gotta say, at this point in the seed, I like the idea of doing checks a lot better than more looting.
Dwarf Castle, I think, is a good spot. Even though it's not one of the tower objectives, it does have 2 bosses. We are still hunting that elusive Wyvern. And then 1 more character check, 1 more key item. Like you were saying, getting another character that could be slingshotted would be pretty valuable. I would be surprised if we weren't headed for D machines. Oh, well, There's a sparkle.
I think I like this routing from Soleras too, because you're also giving yourself maximum chances to find that tower key before you actually hit the tower. And we've already talked about how efficient Soleras is as a runner here. And we're down to 1 sparkle, and it's going to be Wyvern whenever we find it.
Wow. D-Lunar's pretty annoying in this spot, actually. It's got a decent amount of health. We don't have incredible ways of dealing with it. Power punches from Yang are going to be pretty good. Tele can throw some fire 3s. I don't expect it to be dangerous, but if it's the wrong second boss, if the party's a little bit low on HP, I know that I've definitely run into that issue where the D-Lunars soften me up and then the second boss takes me out. It's a huge waste of time.
Yeah, and that is a very real danger with this fight because of the fires. So we'll see how Soleras chooses to play this fight. I think Marten is... Well, I thought Marten was going to be going to grind here. Now I'm not so sure. We'll see where Marten ends up, but let's watch Soleras here, seeing what decisions he makes to get through this D-Lunar fight.
Marten going for that second Siren. Just like with Soleras, he's going to get a big slingshot. Well, not a good slingshot. A good slingshot for the Cecil.
It's no D-Machine slingshot.
But he is setting up for it. He purposefully knocks down the Porum, because out of everybody in the party, she's going to benefit most from getting that catch-up experience on a big D-Machine fight. Tella, not helping, misses the weak on the egg. Just waste some time. Things look a little dicey for Soleras. This is exactly the situation I was worried about. Everybody's at low HP. If this was an Ogopogo, it'd be super bad. We know that that's out of the pool, though, so that's not an issue. What else would be bad here?
Yeah, Ogopogo was the main thought. Well, not that. So.
Nope, this is fine.
Also, Marten is setting up the double slingshot, so Marten's spending a lot of time getting his grind in order here. Porum is not in slingshot range. Needs a little bit more here. So we're gonna see Marten spending some more time here. Meanwhile, Soleras got himself... I didn't see who the character was.
I think it was Porum number 4 of the seed.
I think that's what chat saw as well. Yay for Porum, I guess. Forum, yeah.
Forum a kind, pour of a kind. All right, I'm gonna workshop that one. I'll get back to you on that one.
I think you had something there.
It's got potential.
I do think Soleras spent a lot of time on that D-Lunar fight, though, and Marten's kind of here again now, so we'll see if this is opportunity for Marten. Maybe figure out a way to get through this fight a little bit faster than Soleras did.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. He should be a little bit stronger, having done 2 Sirens instead of the 1. So I think... oh, well, this back road Yang is not ideal. Oh. Alright, gets the switch in. That's a nice heads-up play by Marten. Cool 2000, not bad on the power punch.
Queuing up a Fire 3, which I'm not... I think we maybe saw a Fire 3, but it's very, very nice damage there. There's an Earth Crystal for Soleras if we want more Porums, potentially.
Yeah, as far as D-Lunar strategies, I believe Soleras went for the all cast on the Fire 3, whereas Marten chose to focus the damage on the back D-Lunar. think he's splitting it evenly. I expect both of them to go down pretty soon, one after each other.
Yeah, you see Marten really dedicated to making sure that he gets this grind. Meanwhile, I think it's time for a game.
Ooh.
I saw a Zeus gauntlet and a sorcerer's robe and some cool hats.
Yep, crystal shields, a pair of them. Can only use the one. We might have even found some already. So, all right, I guess it's not useless.
I think Marten is just about the happiest person on the planet to see King Queen Evelyn right here, with a third of a Yang standing going into the second fight.
That's all you need.
Picks up Porum though. That might not have been what he wanted. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're right. That does seem to run counter to the strategy he'd been setting up to get that slingshot on the Porum. So we'll see if he sticks with that or if he puts her back down again. Or maybe he just recognizes he can't quite get the experience difference he needs. Oh, yep, here comes the weak. Or rather, the virus.
Okay, that was enough damage. I wasn't sure with the heroin robe, but yeah, that definitely got there. So good recovery by Marten there. Hopefully we'll set things up the way that he is hoping. I think it's pretty interesting that Soleras is doing this Earth Crystal right now when your other option is Keyless Tower, which is a required objective.
Yeah, so I am also surprised at that. Not because I think it's a bad play. I probably would do the same thing myself, but I also am a sucker for the Tower of Zot, even when I shouldn't be going there. Yeah, I think he's just, again, following that philosophy of gradually clearing the seed, gonna try really hard to find the tower key before he goes to the tower. If he finds another key item here, then he'll be at 10. He'll be in an ideal situation for the grind. I think that's his mindset here, but it is a lengthy check. One of the other upsides is, of course, 2 more boss checks, and we are looking for exactly 1 more sparkle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a bad play either, but my only observation would be you're giving Marten a chance to catch up here. And we'll see what Marten ultimately decides to do, but I think if this Earth Crystal ends up not paying off, in a meaningful way, or maybe even if you get a character. I will be honest, this party seems perfectly fine to me. I don't think you're really hurting for characters at this point.
Agreed. Maybe you swap out Rosa for Porum, maybe. I don't think I'd take Palom at this point. And I'm not even sure I would take Edge, not unless you had good Edge weapons, and I don't think that they do.
Yeah, the only edge weapon I've seen so far is Marten had a longsword from his Evelyn run. So it's not really going to matter, it looks like. I think Marten is kind of going for efficiency here. Still needs to do that Baron in check, so is gonna do the Earth Crystal, gonna do Baron in. This will be interesting to see. Everybody waiting on that Keyless Tower, man. Everybody in this community loves Keyless Tower, and our 2 runners are just like, nope, not interested. Don't want to do Keyless Tower tonight.
Yeah, I think it's that super cannon objective. I think if objective number 4 was something else, they both would have done it already. But they want to make the all-in-one trip. Right, there's the Rosa. Better long-term than Porum, but not better right now. We'll see which white mage Soleras prioritizes.
I mean, we're talking about slingshots, and oh, well, there's Edge. So, okay, you got about the two best characters that you could have hoped to pull out of the tower here. So that's paying off already for you. But I guess in terms of slingshots, I'm a little bit like Marten is still set up to slingshot, but Soleras is not really. So, I mean, you're already kind of half started your grind. At this point, you have Edge. You're not going to be doing D Machine, I don't think, anyway. So
he thought real hard about that. You know, Edge is normally an automatic pickup. Like, yes, of course, give me the ninja. But he sat there for a few seconds wondering if he would rather have the Yang. Chooses to go with the Edge, though. Really not a bad pick in any situation. And who knows, he might choose to go for the Sirens instead of the D Machines. Now it is a much safer option. It's doesn't involve going to the Giant. I know that I try to do it instead of a D Machine grind whenever I can help it, but that's my bias against D Machine grinds.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing for Soleras here is you kept Tella. I'm going to be curious to ask about that decision, because I think at this point, if you're picking up the Edge, you don't want to do a D Machine or any kind of grind like that anyway. So I guess I'm not sure why you keep Tella. I think you maybe want to keep Porum there instead. But like I said, I'll be interested to ask. I'll be interested if Marten does something different here. So we'll kind of get the pulse of the runners later on with some of these. These are really difficult decisions. The character management in this seed has been very tough.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad that it turned out this way. We were talking earlier on about some of the interesting character aspects of this seed, and we ended up in a situation where I think both runners could make different choices at this Tower of Zot and be totally justified with what they do. Soleras takes care of the Water Hag, no problem. The interesting implication there is that the blue robe that handed over the Sand Ruby at the start of the seed must be the Alt Gauntlet.
That is true. So that is information for our runners here, and Soleras is about to get the key item. Just a defense sword. So good for Kane. Probably not great overall. Again, I'll be kind of curious to ask about this later, because really you just kind of got the characters out of that deal.
Yeah, I bet if you could somehow know ahead of time, like, Zot has Rosa, Edge, and a defense sword, do you want to go do it? I think Soleras would probably say no, I'll stick with the party I had. So maybe doesn't feel great about the time investment, but at the same time wasn't a total loss, and is now making his way into the tower.
Yeah, and we know it's not going to hurt him because Marten's doing the same thing, so. But yeah, hey, keyless tower, here we go. And also we're noting Soleras not pick up that 10 key item as well.
Yep, yeah, I think that's he has to do the ground or check Texas key item. I think those are really the two choices, and he's then committed to this goal getting to 10. Makes sense to me. Goldberg has been promoted to evil villain operation scientist, but I guess this is it's not super deadly, but it's very annoying. I would not be able to see Goldberg in this spot.
At least for prior goals.
Oh yeah, that makes you feel so much better. I have to do this cutscene and watch most of my party members get wiped out.
Soleras is opting to go with the mini strat here, so We'll see a little text here as well. Yeah, Martin is also taking the Rosa and the edge and keeping the Alessa, so understandable.
All of us watching things fly. I very much appreciate that the jump command is not removed when Kane is in form. I think our Smash exactly the right idea in chat of a fight. But is deadly enough where you have to care about getting hit by the spells. But weak enough where it's going to take forever for the fight spells to do any serious damage. So it's just going to be a grind. Alright, testing, seeing if we're working out these audio issues that we got going on.
Sounds better, Corey, here, testing mine, and yeah, meanwhile, Golbez is getting stuff thrown at him.
It's what he deserves. Why? Why are you throwing things at me?
Where did those pigs learn to throw like that anyway?
Got jumping pigs, throwing pigs.
It's Soleras on the board with the first objective of the seed as well. But we did not get another key item. We got the pass, so stranded on 9 with nothing left to do on the Earth except, oh, by the way, there's still that demist at the Asura spot. Hopefully neither of our runners forgot about that.
Is that enough? Is that worth doing to try to chase one last key item? I would guess no. I think if you're diving for key items, you're probably diving on the moon for it. Martin is not close to 10 key items. Well, 7. Yeah, close-ish, but is feeling very good about going for the grind now.
Well, and
Soleras. Yep, there's the divergence.
So I think we know Martin's making a good call here, because we know that there, aside from that demist, which I did see a comment in chat from Hereward, grind to demist levels. If you're going to grind to demist levels, you might as well just grind to your moon levels, because the efficiency that you need to get through that spot, in such a fast spot, you might as well just do your grind first anyway. And yeah, Soleras is going to be stealing some sirens for a while here, especially if he plans to grind on 9. So this is a very interesting moment in this seed right now.
Yeah, the other problem with trying to play for just demist levels is if you have this idea that, you know, we'll beat the demist and then get a 10th key item, and then the rest of the grind is shorter. You know, the number of sirens you need for just the demist grind versus the full grind, or rather, the number of sirens you need for regular experience versus double experience is pretty different, and it would. It's hard to plan for that, so I agree with you. I would, if I'm committing to a grind, I'm doing the whole thing. That said, would be pretty pretty interesting if that Demus turned out to be important.
But also surprise, it could just also not also be your 10th key item, so.
Yep.
No guarantees. But yeah, this is a super interesting divergence. Also, yikes, Soleras. It's okay, folks. He's a professional. He's got this.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I guess he accidentally queued up an attack instead of a sneak or something like that and spawned the Stale Man or the Stone Man. But he's recovered. All is well.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, he had a full inventory according to chat, and then had to use an item because if you this doesn't come up very often, but if you try to steal sirens with a full inventory, the sirens don't have a place to go, and they just do not go into your inventory. So good on Soleras to like check and actually catch that, but at the same time,
it's a huge heads-up play. It's very easy to just convince yourself you just have a run of bad luck. Like, oh, I can't believe I failed stealing 5 times in a row. That's a really good catch early on in this this stealing session.
It's definitely happened, especially in the early days when we didn't necessarily know a lot about how sneak worked particularly well. And I definitely remember commentating a race where a runner thought they stole 10 to 15 sirens, and they in fact stole none.
Soleras taking the time to clean up some extraneous items in this looting screen, and then he's gonna walk out with those sirens.
Yeah, only ended up stealing 5, so not a ton.
Yeah, maybe he's going with Hereward's suggestion, just a little bit of a grind, and then try to take on that D-Mist or just Moon bosses. Marten, meanwhile, humming along, got the Tele in that middle spot. Very important to guarantee those weak casts. I've definitely felt the pain of not middle slotting him and getting that extra accuracy on the spells. Things can go south pretty quick if you attack the Demus when it's not going to go down with that one hit.
To answer a question in chat, both runners used their hourglass on the back attack Calbrena on the Mount Ordeals fights. Yeah, this is just really interesting how this is going. I think Marten is still in a pretty good position, but I think Marten needs to not get super bogged down doing all the stuff that Soleras has already done.
Right, he probably, from an omniscient point of view, he doesn't know what's at what, but he probably wants to get that Baron in done so he can get the Pan, so he can get the Adamant. He can wait on the tower until he has the tower key because Golbez did not lead to any kind of progression. And I guess there's the Demist on Earth, and then everything else is on the moon.
Yeah, so Soleras is just, you have to think if the fact that Soleras is not going to the moon right now means that he is probably thinking he's going to go do that Demist. That's an awful lot of eggs in one basket as far as these checks go. I do think Marten getting the double slingshot here is probably going to take a little bit longer, but the longer the seed goes, I think the better that's going to play for Marten here.
Agreed. I'm pretty surprised at the direction that Soleras has taken it. I can't say that he's wrong. I just would have expected him to go for the grind option sooner, just because it's sort of the guaranteed play, if you will. It's the straightforward, just get strong, knock out the seed sort of thing. But ironically, him getting that pan and getting those extra key items, I think really led him down a different path than Marten, who isn't thinking about 10 key items at all.
Yeah, and I think Soleras has had a game plan in mind, and I think he is just trying to follow through on that game plan, which is to be very thorough, be very considerate of, completing one part before moving on to the rest. And is, just again, in terms of ground covered, is ahead of Marten right now, but it may not end up paying off if this demist isn't anything, because presumably that's what he's going to do next. Maybe not. But if Marten goes and starts, doing the moon or something and finding those missing pieces, that could be a pretty interesting divergence here.
Yeah, Soleras, it's hard to imagine him going for a D machine grind now that he's done these sirens. So he may have a lowish level Z fight in his future, just because you'll get some experience from doing lunar bosses. He'll find that 10th key item eventually, and kind of work his way up to levels just by playing out the seed, which is interesting. I do like seeing that. And I especially like it here when both runners are taking different approaches.
Yep, absolutely. And we do see Soleras heading up to the moon here, so we will we'll get a good bead on what Soleras's strategy is here pretty quickly. Still needing to find, at a minimum, a Wyvern and a key item to finish this seed.
I think I know what Soleras is going to do, because he didn't save outside of the lunar subterrane. But I always wonder in these situations, with 9 key items, no one key item is going to be go mode. Do you try to go for the single key item bosses, the Murasame at the top, the White Spear Altar, or do you go for the ribbon spot and give yourself 2 chances at getting a key item, but you miss out on doubling the most valuable boss spot in terms of experience?
As a fellow efficiency-based runner, I like going to the bottom here and then maybe just checking the White Spear Altar first. If that doesn't look promising, maybe go check that Masamune spot, maybe luck into a relatively free boss. You don't want to have to do that ribbon room without the 10 key items if you can help it.
Not too much to say on Marten's side. The D-Machine grind is humming along smoothly. I think he's in a good rhythm, which is very important, especially on these C hero seeds where agility can be kind of weird sometimes. But just those 3 party members, giving Tella some ethers, hitting the searcher, just nice, consistent save. Actually, it looks like he may be done. He's picking up the edge. That's probably a sign that we are nearing the end.
We'll see where he ends up level-wise, but yeah, this is the end of the fight, and Soleras is getting set up here at the bottom of the moon to go do some boss hunts. Yeah, worth noting, they kept this edge around. We don't have a good edge weapon yet, particularly, so not an extremely powerful edge yet.
Yep, that choice echoing from the Tower of Zot to switch out the Yang for the edge. For Soleras, he used the edge's sneak ability to get, oh, I'm sorry, I gotta interrupt myself. We found an important boss here.
Well, there's one of the missing pieces for Soleras, and opening with a bluster. Poor Tella, eating a bluster there.
It's rough. Soleras immediately whipping out the spoon. Does not want to fool around with this Wyvern fight, getting it taken care of as soon as possible.
Marten checking this Elements boss fight, which we know is a dud.
Will not bother fighting through the cajillions of HP that it has just to see the second boss. Will check this last arm chest to try to find a crystal sword, perhaps.
This chest does have a very high percentage of dropping a tier 8 item.
The point I was trying to make earlier, though, is that you probably would prefer to have the Yang over the edge after doing that big grind. So it was very interesting that Marten switched it out, but then didn't take advantage of Edge's abilities. That said, Edge, not a bad party member in this situation. Will still be perfectly fine for the Z fight. Unfortunately, does not find anything interesting from the last arm, just an Hourglass 2.
Soleras does pick up the 10th key item from that Wyvern fight as well. Picks up the Twin Harp, so...
Yep. More important for that 10 key item than actually checking it. Probably. We'll see if Soleras gives in to chat pressure. Not that he can see or hear the chat, but just he knows. He knows that hundreds of people are calling for music the moment he picks that up.
For those of us who are wanting maximum free enterprise tonight, we are just now rooting for Tower Key holding the Legend Sword.
That would do it.
Meanwhile, we got some calamari on the menu here in the ribbon room for Soleras, so gonna be punching an octopus for a little bit here. Let's see what Marten does coming out of this grind. I'm definitely curious what his plan is moving forward here.
Picks up a long sword to go with the other long sword he already had, so now the Edge has perfectly fine gear for the rest of the game. And he is not going to the moon right away.
Okay, I want to see... Well, Marten still has to do Keyless Tower. I want to see that Demist fight Marten.
Soleras' choice to do that mini grind, I was a little skeptical of it at first, but he's running into some good bosses here where this could really pay off. He's going to get 200,000 experience for this pretty free Octomam. It's taken a little time to work through it, but I don't think he's gonna have too many issues with levels by the end of the game, as long as he keeps working his way through these moon bosses. Unless he gets go mode right now from Octomam, then maybe he'll have to start thinking about how to finish up his levels.
Yeah, can always... Still has to do that Cave Bahamut, so can always pick up a Behemoth or two along the way. Does have those 10 key items now. Yeah, this is one of the interesting things. I'm curious if this played into Soleras' routing or decision-making, as we did see so many of those lunar bosses early on the blue planet.
Yeah.
And it's possible that Mart or Soleras thought this might be a soft moon, and as you were pointing out, Corey, hasn't really seen a lot of scary bosses yet.
Wow.
Well, there's the Crystal Sword.
It's a pretty good weapon. So I'm told.
That's the rumor. So anyway, it doesn't matter that Soleras didn't demachine grind now.
Nope, he's good. He could probably march into the fight right now and be just fine.
Also a Baron key, so another key item. I mean, if we are looking for things that Demist could have that are relevant at this point, I think it's down to the Luca key. Well, obviously the Tower key we're still hunting for, but Tower key, Luca key, and Rat Tail.
Legend Sword also would be a relevant pickup, not progression, but would knock out that objective.
Of course, yeah, that's a good call.
You know, that Demist, you would probably think normally, like, yeah, do Baron Key before the random Demist at Ashura, but that Baron Key, like we were talking about before, is involves the Alt Gauntlet at the Baigen spot, which, you know, doesn't matter how strong you are, it's gonna be annoying and slow. I wonder if that makes our runners put it off as long as possible.
Yeah, that's a good point, for sure. Chat pointing out, yeah, what a great boss to find right after getting a Crystal Sword. Yeah, pretty much. Poor Mylon Z. A victim of excellent routing.
Alas. Guarding the extremely important samurai arrows.
It's another chunk of XP for Soleras, who we know needs it more than Marten does at this point. So
Yep. Does not reset out of that. Is happily walking away with the experience.
Question in chat: where was that Crystal Sword at? It was at the Ribbon Room, guarded by an Octomom, which canonically actually makes a little bit of sense because Octomom is a light-based boss.
That's a good point. If the Octomom hit harder, my headcanon there would have been that it was wielding the Crystal Sword or perhaps a variety of paladin weapons. But it was not terribly punchy at the ribbon spot.
Unfortunately, each tentacle only had 1/8 of a Crystal Sword, which is just...
Yep, that would do it.
Marten does pick up objective 5, finishes off that boss Lower Babel.
Oh look, Mylon Z.
I'm getting deja vu.
Wants a second chance. Surely he can defeat the Crystal Sword Cecil this time. Just kidding.
But I brought friends! Bye, friends.
So we've got the big tension right now is that Soleras kind of generally built a small lead throughout the seed, and then Marten did the bigger grind, is more powerful right now, but is it enough to make up for the lost time? Can he blitz through these bosses faster than Soleras did, or make some different checks to try to pick up that ground?
Well, no help for Soleras there, other than finding just another ridiculous weapon for a party member, and kind of putting that D-Machine grind that Marten made just a little bit less relevant to the way the seed is finishing up here. Still have one more key item check on the moon, and then Soleras is done checking key items. We'll potentially have to figure out how to finish routing this thing out, but still a long ways to go here. That Demist looking more and more interesting by the second.
Yeah, if the Murasame altar, the Pale Dim spot, has nothing interesting, then that means there's music, there's the Baron Key with an Alt Gauntlet, or there's Demist at Ashura. And none of those are great. None of those are super appealing. I'll be very interested to see what the runners prioritize when they get back to the blue planet.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff still out there, so we'll see what this spot holds here. Starting with the Mega Sisters, which this is a pretty good spot to find them. Not a lot of magic attack at this spot.
I think Soleras definitely had the read that the moon bosses were probably not going to be the worst that they could be. I think that mini grind definitely was a big heads up play. Just good job just keeping track of the bosses and having a good sense of the flow of the seed, knowing what kind of progression there is, knowing kind of the difficulty curve, if you will, and realizing like, nope, 5 sirens, that's all I'm gonna need most likely.
Yeah, very good call by Soleras for sure. Marten's doing it. Marten is doing the demist fight. Here we go. I did notice put a drain spear on Kane. Good move. This is a very fast spot. You want to slow down your anchor as much as you possibly can. Soleras with the whammy there, crystal ring from the Magus Sisters. Although again, getting those good endgame levels. And yeah, we're outie. We're headed back to the blue planet here for Soleras. Although we do got to do that CPU at the K Bahamut spot first.
Yeah, he could gamble and guess that the legend sword is behind the tower key, and actually that's what he's doing. He's not gonna do Cave Bahamut right now. He's gonna see if he picks up the forge objective along the way.
We'll see. Yeah, this I don't think this is what you want to do here. I could be wrong. I think you just get that objective and you just have to find one more thing then. This might just be a little bit of a tense moment here for Soleras.
Yeah, the only way this works out, not that it's not going to be an incredible time loss. It's going to be the time spent flying back to the moon and then back again. But this works out if you find the tower key, and the tower key reward is the legend sword, in which case you can go forge and then go beat the game without having to do Cape Bahamut. But that's the only way it works.
Marten picked up a stack of drain spears, by the way, before this demist fight, so is going to make this about as fast as possible. Yeah, Soleras is hitting up the Baron key. We know it's the alt gauntlet as well, so
I wonder if he remembers it's the alt gauntlet. Like, between alt gauntlet at the Baron key plus another boss and the twin harp, I would think the twin harp would be a little bit faster, but I guess, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure on that.
I assume Soleras has not forgotten that this is the alt gauntlet, but may just want to get a couple more boss or get these checks done here. Just check he's following his plays. You found the twin harp and the Baron key up on the moon, so you got to do those first. This will be pretty efficient still.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know after the last race, he talked about how, at a certain point after playing things straight for a long time, you have to feel like maybe you do need to take a gamble at the end. Maybe he, it thinks that Marten won't want to do an alt gauntlet, so he's going to do it. Or maybe he does just think that it's going to be much faster, and he could be totally right about that, because he is chewing through this alt gauntlet like nobody's business, getting those run buffers in to guarantee that the edge always goes first.
Absolutely.
He'll with this very quickly.
Yeah, big moment here for Marten. Ooh. Okay, so at this point, we know that one of those key items that Soleras got up on the moon is required. It's either going to be the Baron key or that twin harp.
Yep. Could be one of them leads to both the tower key and the legend sword. Could be that one is behind each of them, in which case there's no wrong choices really, but you do have to go to the moon no matter what.
Well, and you have to come back, so you're gonna have to figure out when the time to leave the moon is as well, because there is a long chain somewhere down here that involves the Luca key, the rat tail, A couple other things. Hey, it's a Dragoon Spear.
Neat.
Yeah, that was, I believe that was a Mute Knife. Yang's like, take me back. I'll be good, I promise.
I don't even need gear. I can punch. Oh. Yang, you stay and deal with these collapsing walls. Yeah, that seems like a good job for you, buddy. We're gonna keep going.
At this point, this really just feels like Soleras' race to lose.
Yeah, Martin's got the entire lunar subterrane left to explore. He would have to make a huge gamble to get just one of those, either the Twin Harp or the Baron Key, and then immediately chase it to have a chance to catch up.
And we're going to be waiting a little bit longer to figure out what Soleras got from that Baron Castle, because he just got the rat tail, and that's going to turn into something else pretty quickly. I think best case scenario for Martin is that it is Twin Harp that has all the goods, and Soleras just puts off that Twin Harp for a while doing other stuff.
Yeah, I guess Soleras could, instead of doing Twin Harp, if this is nothing, he could choose to go do that Demus. That would buy Martin a little bit of time. Oh, not nothing. Legend Sword, that is go mode for Soleras.
Yeah, Soleras is going to forge, probably remember that Cave Bahamut exists, and then we'll be off to Z shortly here.
As Kane is our hero, Kokol will forge one of the Supersmith items from Kane's pool of weapons. I think that includes the Able Lance. What else? What else can Kane get? To be honest, I'm not up on all my Supersmith weapons.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's like the Gigant. There's a Gigant axe, the Able Lance. Piggy stick maybe. Yeah, Piggy stick. So
yes,
we'll see.
The legendary Piggy stick.
Don't think Flan Sword is in the rotation for Kane, but I could be wrong. Could also just, I don't know, buy a White Spear.
I think he was thinking about it and then realized, like, wait a second, I'm about to get a Kane weapon right now. It is the Piggy stick. Soleras moved a little bit too fast for my eyes. I think he was checking Kane's agility there before throwing the crystal ring on him. So I'm assuming that Kane's in a pretty good spot agility-wise, where getting that boost gets him past one of those important breakpoints for the Zeromus fight.
Yeah, and I'm also just assuming you have a level 50 Rosa and a level 50 Cecil with a crystal sword. It really doesn't matter all that much what everybody else is doing.
Nope, probably not.
Yeah, and Soleras is going to go take out Cave Bahamut here, it looks like, and then I think we will see our first runner headed to Z. Martin is on the clock here.
Now, if you're Soleras, hard to tell where you are in this seed. I mean, I think if you've full cleared the moon and you're still playing and you're still trying to win, you're probably stressed. There's a chance that your opponent made a play that you didn't. It's totally plausible that somebody could have gone to the ribbon room, gotten the Baron Key, and then immediately left and chased it, which would have worked out. So Soleras may be feeling some pressure right now. I'm curious if he'll go for some YOLO strats on the CPU, zerk up the Cecil.
I could see that.
Could you survive the globe 199s in this spot?
I mean, this spot has very, very low magic, so yeah, I think that is actually a possibility.
Yep, here come the Zerks. Marten working his way through the lunar subterrane. Finding the Octoman will get a crystal sword and Baron key at the end of this, so he'll be incredibly strong. Cecil has a whole bunch of levels. With that, the crystal sword will basically be able to solo the entire rest of the game. It's just a matter of Soleras just being too far ahead. Soleras doesn't have to do any more guessing. He just has to finish whacking the CPU and he's done. Ooh, that was 5,000 damage on the Tella. I may have been a little optimistic, wondering if it was possible to survive the globes at this boss.
Hey, it's only half damage.
That's a glass half full.
That was about the most efficient CPU fight I think I've ever seen. Oh, hey, sure, have an Avenger.
Yeah, why not? Let's just make Cecil burr even harder.
So I actually think if you're Soleras, that actually scares you a little bit, because that Avenger's been out there for a while, and you didn't do this right away. But, I mean, it's all going to work out, but that's not the item you want to see there, I don't think, if you're Soleras.
Agreed. With that, Soleras will exit out of Cave Bahamut, hop back in the ship, go back to Earth, and use that pass to take the shortcut to Zemus. I have a great deal of confidence that he will be able to handle this final boss no problem.
We're going to get set up for the Z fight here soon. Let's just take the whale on over to Troya today. Why not?
Do you think the Lunar Whale has a convertible option? Can you put the top down and really cruise around the planet?
You know, if it was me, I would be up on the top deck, as long as we weren't in space. I think that's a pretty bad idea.
I do see why a convertible spaceship may not be the best design, but it would be a really cool design.
Indeed, and we got some Z flags out in chat. I think everybody knows it's past my bedtime, so yep.
I was pretty sure the Z flag stood for Zoe Vermilion, Free Enterprise Admin, Ace Free Enterprise Racer. But it's possible that it's doing double duty, stands for something else.
We got a little bit of time here, at least where I'm at, before it's the weekend, and you know what? We got a butt to kick before moving on. Or I should say Soleras has a butt to kick. So it is time to ask that question.
I'm sorry, I was very premature. I really ruined the dramatic moment. Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Let's go. Let's see that beautiful butt footage. And just like I said, I think I actually called this about 90 minutes ago. I was like, hey, we got a silk web for about 90 minutes from now.
The crystal. Christamus.
It has a very pointy butt.
Jump is berserked. Edge is berserked. Cecil's getting ready to get berserked. And after that should be smooth sailing. Will be a shame if Edge goes down before Rosa gets this cure for the Zemus. I'm sorry, Christomus is moving pretty fast, but Edge gets the cure for. We might not even see a second Big Bang.
Yeah,
it's pretty fast. We'll probably see a second one, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's definitely moving, but you know what? Cecil has Nuke on a stick, so that's also pretty good, I hear. I think he put the Avenger on Kane.
Yep, that's right. He, as Edge got the fight started with the Crystal, Kane equipped the Avenger and then waited for the fight to really begin and get his berserk going. Just the economy of actions. Would it have technically been better if Cecil got berserk first? Yes, but it was Kane's turn, so Kane got to be the Avenger wielder.
It's the angry piggy stick now.
Marten, meanwhile, has been cleaning up the moon spots, no problem. Beat that Wyvern, knocked off Objective 1, is working on the upper half of the moon. It will not take him long to get through the rest of this seed, but it will unfortunately not be fast enough to catch up with Soleras. Second Big Bang comes out. Rosa already ready with the cure for. Should not be any danger from this point forward. We're avoiding the dreaded Big Bang into Medio combo platter.
And there's the rocks for Soleras. It's like this is just about over. Everybody dodges but Edge.
And that's it. Soleras is our winner. Takes the series 2-0 and will be moving on to the semifinals. GG's to Soleras.
And we will see about getting Soleras in here for an interview. Moving on to the semifinals. I believe it's going to be against Dikar. Am I remembering the bracket correctly? Or does that one still have another game to go?
I think that one is still ongoing. I think Dikar may be leading the series. But you know what? To be honest, I'm not 100% confident in either.
We'll double check, and I also don't want to spoil anything that may have happened earlier today for folks who haven't watched yet. So go watch, go see who emerged victorious in that Game 3 between those two. And I heard the ding. We are joined in the booth. GG's Soleras, and congratulations on making it to the semifinals.
Oh, push to talk. Hi, that's the thing. Hi, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Well, that was a very uncomfortable, maybe a comfortable, uncomfortable seed to watch. Getting stuck with a decent but not amazing party, getting the chance to maybe upgrade that party, getting stuck at 9 key items. There was just a little bit awkward stuff that happened to you in that seed. It seemed like you managed it pretty well and kind of pulled through. What were some of the things in that seed that really stood out to you?
I didn't want to touch that Deimist with a 10-foot pole, a 15, a 20-foot pole ever, if I could ever help it. And yeah, putting it as like uncomfortably comfortable, comfortably uncomfortable, describes that feeling for me pretty well. Also, getting to the moon and then finding that crystal sword and being like, oh god, you had the chance to go to this moon immediately, and Marten very much likes to make that kind of play. That was certainly a moment of panic for me, but also just, soldier on.
I think the most interesting decision for me was the mini grind that you did, because I thought for sure you were going to be going for the D machine grind at some point. Just seemed like it would be in your style. Seemed like, you know, having that teller right from the beginning of the seed, that like it's an obvious play. And yet you went for the 5 sirens, and I feel like it really worked out well for you. What was your thought process going into that kind of grind?
Primarily that I had pretty good gear. I had a defense sword, I had ogre axes, I had a heroine robe, samurai bow. Like, I had good offensive gear. I just needed... And I had like 3 glass hats from that treasury, and I think one that showed up earlier. So I figured I was actually pretty well geared for the moon. I just needed health primarily. And of course, it took me like 10 steals to realize that my inventory was full. That was not great. And had to chuck something and nearly died. I hadn't saved in the tower, by the way. That was nearly throwing for content. But I just wanted... I have this habit of doing too many sirens in these flags, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to take some advice I kind of took to heart from a couple seeds ago of just do a few so that you can go do the moon without it being like really, really sketch, and hope to get the 10th key item and then get the grind from there, and that's kind of how it worked out.
Yeah, I think what really ended up, I think the crystal sword helped. The moon was also pretty soft, and you had good gear at that point. But Marten went and did a nice double slingshot on Cecil and Rosa that he had been kind of banking for a while. We thought that might end up making a pretty big difference, but then once you had that crystal sword, you were pretty much just set to carve up that moon. So
yeah, there's definitely this tension where I had the heroine robe pretty early in a pour, and I'm like, well, I could keep, you know, characters down, and I had a light sword. I was like, I could keep characters down, or I could just play to the earth and just not even worry about my slingshot, and that's also a big part of why I didn't want to do a D machine. Of course, keeping Tella was a little, might have maybe just kept Porum instead, but Tella put in work.
yeah, it all seemed to go pretty well for you. Corey, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say about keeping the Tella that we were very interested in that decision. You both ended up doing the exact same thing, switching out the Rosa for the Porum and taking the Edge. But it seemed like there was a lot of opportunity to do different things. It seemed like you really thought carefully about that decision, whether you were gonna take the Edge or not.
I did. I knew I was taking Edge, but it was who was I keeping as my 5th party member. Yeah, I definitely agonized that. I was agonizing about it kind of before the characters showed up too.
Was your primary motivation for doing that Earth Crystal check to maybe get some better characters and upgrade your party, or maybe get yourself in a situation where you could do a slingshot? Because one thing we noticed, and again, this is a decision that both you and Marten made, but you know, for having that objective 5 finishing off the lower Babel, neither of you was particularly in a hurry to do that keyless tower check.
Isn't there a fun tension with these 2 objectives? Because you also want the tower key, because that's also an objective. I knew I was doing it before going to the moon, and darkness showed up pretty early, so I was just pretty okay putting it off. And I'm kind of glad I did, considering who the boss was. But yeah, the Earth Crystal was hoping towards 10 key items, staying on the moon, treasury check, which ended up being okay. I think the glass hats were the real reward. And the characters were going to help guide me. I mean, maybe I get, you know, Iridia and a Palom, then I'm definitely doing a D machine grind, right? Even on 9 key items. Or maybe I get an Edge, which I did, and then... So yeah, those were all things that guided me to do that Earth Crystal.
Yeah, it all worked out. I do think it was... There were some points where Marten could have broken away and done something different. And depending on where the key items fell, because we know, we found out watching the seed, because Marten did that demist, and we were like, well, if this demist has the tower key, that could be Marten's way back into this seed, because you were definitely a couple checks ahead the whole time. but it ended up being a little bit of a dud. And then all that ultimately happened was Marten was just further behind you, which, you know, kudos to you. Again, you kind of said, like, I don't want to touch that D machine. I mean, Marten took the gamble. He made the risk, and it just unfortunately didn't pay off for him.
Oh, did he did that D missed?
Yeah. Yep.
That explains a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, doing the demist was a time lost, and then really just your decision to fight through the moon rather than doing the lengthy, not double experience D machine grind. I think were the two major things that gained you a lot of time in this seed.
Yeah, and Marten's a great competitor. I mean, I really had no idea where his head was going to be at this seed, but my thing, going back to the Zod, I guess, was also like, Darkness showed up so early, it's like, you either get 5 characters immediately and run to that moon, you do your D-Machine, run to that moon, or you're committed to the entire Earth. That's kind of where I was leaning. So, like, there were opportunities to do things differently, but I sort of chose my one lane and tried to stick with it until I had to go to the moon.
Were you stressed at all at the end as you were going into Cape Bahamut, knowing that you had full cleared everything except the twin harp, really, and whatever chain was behind it? Were you feeling some stress there?
I mean, that's at least the point. It's like, you know, you just need to finish, so that's all that was really on my mind. It was like, just finish. I'm very happy to do a game 3. Like, all these constellations you go through in your head, like, okay, you know, however I played is how I played, and just get through, get done. That's really all that was on my mind. I know the time ended up being quite, like, Marten's a great competitor. You really, like, you never know where your opponent is, you know, in these, and I didn't really want to stress out about it. But yeah, big GGs to Marten. Marten is a player who, on his Discord, I play quite a bit with him and became friends with this campfire crew, and they're really a big part of why I think I've leveled up somewhat recently the past few months. So just wanted to give that big shout out for him too. Very happy I got to face him. Sad we didn't get to a game 3.
Yeah, and your play was just phenomenal, Soleras, and it has been a lot of fun watching you get better over the last year or so, for sure. And I mean, I think you're going to be a force to be reckoned with all throughout the rest of this tournament and on into the future. So, oh hey, Tower Key.
Yep. So it did turn out that both the Twin Harp and the Baron Key were paths to the end of the seed.
Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, that's a coin flip. That's like, oh, I hope I picked right.
Yeah, especially with the alt gauntlet being one of the bosses in Baron. Now, not difficult and as fast as it could be, but still slower than just about any other boss there.
Yeah, very much so. I actually completely forgot about that until I saw the blue robe and I was like, oh god, at least I have edge in the first position. So I can cast flame in every wave. That kind of helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, but anyways, I'll let y'all go. Thanks so much for putting on this restream, and I just want to say I am still shaking. It's 15 minutes long, you know. It's well past when I finished. I'm still shaking. I'm very pleased, obviously, with where I've gotten in this tournament, and it's just, I would have been very happy for Marten to move on too, but this result, it's very validating, so thank you all so much for putting on this restream and featuring us tonight.
Incredible job by you. Top 4 is amazing. You know, I would say every person who's ever made top 4 in a free enterprise tournament has been considered a legendary member of the community. You absolutely deserve to be there. GG's to you.
Thank you, and everything from here on out is gravy, so, you know, if top 4 is my end, I'm more than happy with it.
Wonderful job again, Soleras. Go get some rest. You got a couple days off to relax and hopefully stop shaking, and we'll see you back here for the semis next week.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. See y'all later. Bye.
All right, everybody, that was Soleras. We've got Marten blowing up the tower, or the super cannon here, about to get his crystal, and also has the ridiculously overpowered Cecil. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be elementary, academic, whatever term you want to use for it at this point for Marten as well. I just want to give a quick shout out while we are winding down here to our entire Restream team. Our crew tonight is Bahamut X on the Restream, Reckless Charlie, just Charlie, doing the tracking, and myself and Prof. Corey have been rocking the mics for you all tonight. Thank you so much. We're going to have a free weekend here, I believe. Semifinals will be starting on Tuesday, so plenty of free enterprise still to come. We got a couple weeks left of the Highway to the Zemus Zone 4 tournament. Please use the time, catch up on sleep, catch up on VODs, catch up on what has been going on the Discord, and a lot of tournament left to go. Very, very exciting time for our community right now.
I'm very happy with how this tournament's gone. It's been great. Really enjoyed the format of bringing back the large group qualifiers. It's just changed it up from a lot of the previous tournaments. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun casting tonight. It's been a lot of fun participating in the tournament. And I think once again we've showed off why Free Enterprise is the best randomizer around, and certainly the best randomizer community. So thanks to everyone.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun, Corey. This has been a good time tonight. Definitely enjoyed it. It gave me something to look forward to last day or so at work and such. So it's always a good time. Love getting on the mic and commentating these excellent races that we have in our tournaments. So make sure you follow both of our runners as well. Soleras does plenty of free enterprise. Marten does a lot of free enterprise as well, and has a really cool Discord and community, like Soleras was talking about earlier when he was in here for his interview too. So
Marten now taking his pass to the final fight, using the crystal on Crystalmus, and like Soleras, I think he will be mopping up this boss easily.
let's make sure we get a ton of hype and cheers and soon-to-be GGs in the chat here for Marten. Everybody, amazing run for this player. Really impressed with just everything about Marten. Marten has been in the booth a lot, helping out with commentary. Very entertaining, always a lot of fun to watch. And in addition, as we found out this tournament, pretty dang good free enterprise runner. So absolutely has a lot to be proud of. Getting to this quarterfinal against a very good opponent in Soleras here.
Yeah, absolutely. Marten, don't let the times here fool you into thinking that he was completely outclassed here. He is very much on the level of everybody else who's made it into this top 8. I'm looking forward to seeing how he continues improving and what his results are in future tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Zerks are getting set up. Uji, Giesel, and Taina are getting set to lay the beat down on Christmas. Rosa will survive this nerfed Big Bang, no problem. Even Tella stays up. It's actually a little bit important because he's one of the Zerk casters here. Get some heals, and Marten will be all set. Cecil not fooling around with that crystal sword.
Yeah, just get a Cure 4 off here. Probably put your controller down, kick back, watch the rest of the Z fight with us, Martin. Martin also going for the quints here.
Yes. Yes. More power.
Man of the people.
If you're gonna go out, this is the way to do it. Tella's trying his best.
You're doing great, Tella. Keep it. Oh, never mind. Go rest now. And there we go.
Crack, bang, boom, the fight is done. Christmas could not withstand the power of Quint. And it sounds like we are joined by the Quint Master himself, Marten Broadcloak. GG's, Martin.
Thank you. Oh, wait, Quint Master, who's that? Yeah, it can't be me. Tella missed. Tella was missing all the places. You know,
Tella was trying.
Tella. I really would.
I think his glasses fell off. That's what happened there.
Yeah, I guess so. Poor guy.
Hey, Martin, incredible run this tournament. This was a lot of fun to watch. Played really, really well all throughout. I know I got to commentate and watch or restream a couple of your races over the course of the event. How you feeling right now?
Tired. Very tired. Not bad. I at the beginning, Soleras is obscenely talented at this game. That's probably understating it by a few, but I told myself at the beginning I would fade something I normally do, and I would do something that I probably shouldn't. And I faded Baron in, and I did D.Mist, and neither of them worked out very well.
Yeah, I think we were commenting on that almost right away early on in the seed that you were making a good choice objectively by fading that Baron in, because you peaked it about a minute into the seed. You saw that it was a Porum that you didn't need, and then you got the Magma Key before you got there. And sure, why go do that? You're only, there's a lot of other stuff you can do instead. And unfortunately, Soleras kind of just took it in order very traditionally and got the pan into the Adamant, which, in addition to being a key item that he needed, that's just more key items to get you closer to 10. So it was a good play that just didn't work out. And I think the D-Mist as well, I mean, if that had paid off, that was something Soleras wasn't going to do for a really long time. It would have put you right back in the mix.
Yeah, that was kind of the plan, and obviously looking back on it now, because hindsight's always 20/20. Those two key items from Baron N would put me at 10 for that D-Machine grind, and that would have cut some time off there, and probably changed a bit as far as my routing on the moon goes. So, but that is why we play the game, because RNG is RNG. So I'm not disappointed with how I did. I got further in the tournament than I ever thought I would. So I'm very happy with top 8, considering my last go around in Lollyho, and yeah, I had a blast. And like I said, Soleras is scary. I me and Soleras, we have a very unique relationship. We used to race in campfire racing all the time, and I pretty much had Soleras's number, and it drove him insane every time. And boy, has he made leaps and bounds since then. He is well deserving of top 4, if not the finals. So I wish him all the best, and I'm looking forward to watching next week.
Out of curiosity, I'm sorry I don't remember where were you at? Where did you finish in Lollyho League? What was the bump from then to now?
No, I did not make brackets. I ended up 3-3 in Lollyho and just missed it.
Hey, that's one of my favorite parts about this community and this randomizer is watching people progress and level up over the course of tournaments. I think that is so cool that you came from there to being where you are now. Well deserved.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
What do you think contributed most to the improvement between then and now, if you don't mind my asking? Because I know you play a lot of free enterprise, but I always see you, I mean, maybe before the tournament started, but you're just kind of doing a lot of different stuff, a lot of fun seeds, a lot of zany kind of off the wall stuff, not so much maybe tournament focused, but I mean, you definitely got into a tournament mindset for this event and really made it a good deep run, like you said.
Yeah. For most of the people that know me, I mean, I kind of cut my teeth on doing Catalite and Catastyle seeds. That's where I learned a lot of what I do in free enterprise. Ever since I started for Lollyho, I started once I got into the community and started talking with a few people. Lollyho, we kind of set up our own little kind of after dark racing. A lot of people have been around it and raced us. Myself, Possum, Pancraz, Soleras, Tybalt. There's Sorbius. I mean, so many people. And we used to just run seeds and practice against each other late at night. And by practice, I usually mean Pancraz kind of curb stomped most of us. And then we all played for second. But, you know, as that keeps occurring, you kind of learn to get a little bit faster and get a little bit better at things. And, you know, being able to take a match or two off of Pancraz once in a while is an achievement unto itself. So, yeah, going up against, you know, Soleras, Possum, and the likes all the time, I feel like your best practice is always playing against people better than you are. And that's what we did a lot of prior to the tournament. And for most of us,
I think we lost Martin there for he's back.
Hey.
Oh, hey, look, wow, I gave a whole novel on Discord, decided I needed an update. Thanks, Discord.
But you were you were just kind of talking about the experience of getting better, playing against better players, and I couldn't agree with you more. I absolutely think that is the best way you get better, and I'm sure you're going to kind of look back on some of the folks you played in this tournament as well, and just everything just snowballs, so you'll just get that much better as a result too.
That is the plan. So whatever the next tournament may be, probably just going to be a lot of the same. Just going up against some of the best in the game and work on what I need to work on, and we'll see if we can do better than top 8 in the next tournament.
Very good. Well, anything else you just want to add about your experience tonight, or just in the tournament in general, before we head on over on a raid tonight?
I had a blast. It was such a great time doing all the like community qualifiers and everything. Those were amazing. The tournament itself has been great. Doing comms and be able to broadcast these races. I know you two probably had a ton of fun with this race, so I'm looking forward to watching it. Bahamut and Charlie, thank you so much for doing the work behind the scenes. And for anybody wondering, please come join the community. It is a ton of fun, and I promise there you can learn something from anybody in this place, even yours truly. Like why Evelyn is the play 90% of the time. I can teach you that.
You are 100% correct. This race was a real joy to cast. That just the decision making that went into it, not necessarily like huge giant divergences where like one person did mood and one person did earth, but like smaller, I think really tough decisions like what characters to do and having grind options. It was just a really interesting seed. Was an honor to be a part of.
It really was. And thank you so much to you two for volunteering for this. I'm looking forward to watching it back. I'm curious to see where things went and what things were said. So thank you to both of you. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for letting us watch your race and share it with the community. And it was a lot of fun. I'm sure everybody got a lot out of it, and hope you enjoy the watch back and have a good weekend, Martin.
Thank you. You both of you too, and to everyone, take care of yourselves.
All right. And with that, we are going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. We are going to be heading on over in a raid to watch Gambit 017 doing a mystery seed. I just kind of peeked my nose in there a second ago, and it looks like there's still plenty of seed left for everybody. So let's head on over there. No spoilers. Also, it is a ladder race, so please respect the rules of the ladder. No hints, no helping, no other ladder related things. Y'all know the drill. It's the ladder. But yeah, for everybody here, for Bahamut X restreaming, for Charlie doing the tracking tonight, Corey, thank you so much for joining me on the mics tonight as well. It was very, very fun.
Thank you. I think this might be my favorite match I've ever been in the commentary booth for. It really was a great time. So thanks so much to you and the team as well. Have a good night, folks.
Take care, everybody.